welcome to All Star Wrestling. And fans, what a tremendous show we've got in store for you today. You will see such greats in action as Bruiser Brody, the defending tag team champions, the Crusher and Baron Von Raschke. You will see, fans' words cannot describe them, Abdullah the Butcher, as well as two of the outstanding Greco-Roman wrestlers in the United States. Starting thing off, though, this bout, one fall, introducing first out of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighs 216. His opponent just now coming into the ring area. He weighs in at 255 pounds out of Appleton, Minnesota, one of the United States.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to All Star Wrestling, and a special welcome to Steve Olszewski, our commentator throughout the matches, as Brad Rheingans going to work on Rooster Griffin. Rheingans, as we have said so many, many times, one of the outstanding wrestlers in the world today. And, of course, the same can be said about Steve Olszewski, and you two guys have been in the ring together more than one occasion.
Well, that's true, Rod. Thank you very much for inviting me on the show today. I want to say it's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to calling the action here with you. And there's going to be a lot of action here indeed. You look at Brad Rheingans. Look at perfect control position. He's right behind his man. Rooster cannot go anywhere without Brad at least letting him or setting him up for something. Look at the strength there, that man, putting his shoulders down. I tell you, a tremendously conditioned athlete. It's just a pure wrestler at heart.
Brad Rheingans is a growing young man also, up to 255 pounds. Rooster Griffin, 216 out of Atlanta, Georgia, with a wrist lock now on Brad Rheingans. Rheingans knows all the holds, that's for sure, and all the moves. That
great execution there.
That sent Rooster Griffin all the way across the ring. That stuns you.
Oh, it sure does, and it makes you think twice about, you know, what a guy's going to do. You start to set up your strategy here early on in the match, stalking him. Rooster Griffin doesn't want to get too close to Brad, because in close, that's where Brad can really get a hold on you, and he don't let go. Rooster Griffin's strategy here, I tell you, he's just got one or two things he can do. He's got to go out to try to wear Brad down, and there's not too many people that have been able to do that.
Brad Rheingans may be growing and putting on weight, but by golly, he still has that tremendous quickness.
And you know, he's still a great teacher. He's such a great learner. Look at the tremendous coordination, timing, always in control. A lot of people don't know, but Brad's going to go to the Los Angeles. He's going to help be assistant coach for the wrestling team, the Olympic team out there.
And there you got a good close-up look at him. When you work an arm drag takedown like he has just done here moments ago against Rooster Griffin, it must feel like that shoulder is just about coming apart at the seams.
Well, I tell you, when you get in a position like that, there's only one way to go. You got to go with the hold. If you don't, you can put your shoulder, the point of the shoulder, right down into the mat. You can separate a shoulder. People always say you got to look at that. It's the only way now. Griffin's got to take control. He's got to stay on Rheingans if he has any hope whatsoever. You can see there, he knows he's not going to be able to out-wrestle the man. He's got to use every trick in the book, and that's what Rooster's good at.
Working on the back of Brad Rheingans and the solar plexus, Rooster Griffin firing away on the young man from Appleton, Minnesota, who's had about enough, I think, at this point. That knee went right to the midsection of Rooster Griffin, and the air went out of the balloon for sure. A very resilient Brad Rheingans goes to work on the hamstring.
I tell you, you can come down on that hamstring, and it doesn't take too much pressure before something can pop. And I tell you, a lot of wrestlers, they wear knee pads, and that's one good reason why they should. The knees can go so many different directions, and then the athletes really need their knees, their legs underneath them to compete in the sport.
Step over toe hold that he has worked into a twist and now into a figure four.
Now, if he can put his foot over, he can get the Indian deathlock. That would be a submission hold. But Rooster picked the right time there. He's got to get Brad out of his rhythm.
And he picked the eyes to work on of Brad Rheingans. Rooster Griffin firing away, and right back comes the resilient Brad Rheingans. See what Brad has in store now for the Rooster. This could be one of many things.
He's picking him up. He's getting him in a suplex position.
The backbreaker turns him over, covers,
too close,
gets one.
Part of the strategy there too, Rod. I tell you, when you cover a guy, you got to be careful. If you cover him too close to the ropes, you give your opponent a chance to put a foot on the rope, break the count. Or you can break the count by gouging at the eyes.
Just like Rooster Griffin has done there. Look at this. Body slam.
Belly to back suplex. No.
The atomic drop, and there is the belly to back suplex. And a cover, and I think we've got 3 here. We do.
It could have been a 1, 2, 3 or 2, 100. It was all Brad Ringen.
Absolutely. Brad Ringen, the winner here over Rooster Griffin, as he finishes him off with the body-to-body suplex, and the Rooster just could not come back. We'll take another look at it in slow motion.
All right, wrestling fans, here we go with All Star Wrestling right here on KDNL. Now, fans, you saw what happened last week, the unpredictability of one King Kong Brody. He has already put out Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell. By the way, we will hear from the High Flyers, update their condition a bit later. But as a result of that vicious attack, Jim Brunzell will now be unable to wrestle the former AWA World Champion Nick Bockwinkel. In his place, the extremely capable Steve Olszewski. And at this time, I'd like to bring in the former champion, Nick Bockwinkel. And Nick, I must admit, give credit where credit is due. Over the years, you have certainly developed one of the outstanding records in all of professional wrestling.
And by many, I am considered the leading contender for both the NWA and the AWA crown. So I'm going to say this to you, Steve Olszewski. A lot of tough people come into both the NWA and the AWA, blow their mouth off an awful lot about what they can do and how tough they are and what they're going to do. And the next thing you know, they're packing their bags and they're slithering out of the picture simply because they couldn't accomplish it. So that those who stay in the NWA and the AWA are without a doubt to be given credit as the toughest. So, Mr. Olszewski, that is what I'm going to have to give you credit for, but I'm going to be looking at something beyond you and I. I'm looking at Mr. Martel. I'm looking at Ric Flair. I am considered the leading contender for the AWA and the NWA title. So it's very simple. Even though I'm looking ahead to Mr. Flair or to Mr. Martel, I can tell you this, Mr. Olszewski. Do not for 1 second believe that because I've got something higher and further down the road in my mind, that in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to be slacking with you. Because that is when a great athlete like myself can get himself in trouble. So I'm going to step into that ring in St. Louis. I'm going to bring the heritage of my father's name and my own, and I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do my thing. And when it's done and over with, I will be victorious. And then Mr. Flair, and then Mr. Martel, and all the officials, get with it, gentlemen. I should be the next contender for the heavyweight championship, be it the NWA or the AWA.
Fans, one thing for certain, Nick Bockwinkel not lacking for any confidence. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And this bout, one fall. Introducing first out of Union City, Tennessee, at 240 pounds, Jimmy Doo. And his opponent, just coming into the ring area, he weighs in at 450 pounds. He hails from Khartoum in the Sudan. He is Abdullah the Butcher. His manager, Sheikh Adnan El-Kaisi. Your referee, Marty Miller, one fall.
Well, Ken Resnick beats a hasty retreat from the ring, and understandably so, as Abdullah the Butcher, the 450-pounder managed by Sheikh Adnan El-Kaisi, immediately goes to work on Jimmy Doo. With me again at ringside is Steve Olszewski.
I tell you, it looks like the Sheik has gone back to his native country. He's bringing in more professional wrestlers, bigger and stronger all the time. He's gone back to Khartoum in Sudan to bring up Abdullah the Butcher. I think this is one of his first appearances in the AWA, but he has been wrestling throughout the country, throughout the world for many years. He's one of the most devastating wrestlers that there is in wrestling today. There are certain wrestlers you categorize as technicians, or you say that guy's in shape. This guy just plain goes in to hurt people.
Indeed, and he is in there to hurt Jimmy Doo, and he is doing a pretty good job of that. That right hand sending Jimmy Doo to the canvas.
I tell you, when you look at a guy that's 450 pounds, there's just not a whole lot you can do to hurt him. You can't pick him up to body slam him. You barely knock him off his feet on a drop kick, or if you try to backdrop him, he just don't go. Oh, what an elbow. Almost put him right through the mat.
And a cover of 1, 2, and 3. And just as quickly as this one has begun, it is all over. And for some reason or another, Abdullah the Butcher does not want to let go of Jimmy Doo. You see that glassy stare in his eyes. And Sheikh Adnan El Casey, his manager, is out there approving just about anything and everything he does. Marty Miller, the referee, has brought this one to an end. The pinfall has gone to Abdullah the Butcher. What can you say?
You better get the man out of the ring. The man's going to get hurt.
Sheikh Adnan El Casey, what in the world? You had absolutely no business coming in to ringside. You had no reason to be out here, and then a totally uncalled for sneak, one of the most brutal, despicable attacks I've ever seen in all my years of professional wrestling.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Now, let me ask you one question, Mr. Rusnick. My man Camputera been hurt. He can no longer wrestle anymore, and we lost the tag team championship match, right?
Right.
My leg has been broken, hasn't it? My arm has been broken, hasn't it?
Every one of those incidents occurred during a sanctioned match. You had no business out here
You
whatsoever.
thought you double-crossed the Arab world, didn't you? As everybody knows, we got the money. We got the oil well. And from Saudi Arabia, King Fahd. And from Khartoum, Ja'far al-Numairi. And from Jordan, King Hussein. And President Saddam Hussein. And all the sheik in the world, they said, our son, you must come victorious and have a revenge. So he is the man. He is the man, King Kong. Anything he wants, any money you want, any harem, any gold.
None of that explains the despicable actions on the part of you two.
I want you to get revenge for myself. You my man now. What? What is it?
You are fined $10,000.
You know what, Mr. Wally Carbo? $10,000 mean nothing. It means nothing.
I'm not finished with you.
What is it?
I'm going to try to get you suspended.
Suspended?
Just you. I'll tell you what, if I have my way,
Take it easy, King Kong.
I know there's so many wrestlers in the AWA. Want a piece of you what you did to Greg Gagne and Jim Bunzel. And I would like to do this. I would like to put all these wrestlers in one night against him.
That is no surprise. You do what you like. Allah!
Fans, that's all the time we've got. I'm sorry. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Olympics, we have what we consider to be a very special match for you. He weighs in at 149 pounds. He is the two-time defending national champion Greco-Roman wrestler in his weight class, Jim Martinez. For this match, his opponent at 136 pounds out of Worthington, Minnesota, Dalen Wasman. At his class, Dalen also 2 times running the defending national Greco-Roman champion. And ladies and gentlemen, both men leading candidates for the United States Greco-Roman Olympic team in this, the year of the Olympics. For this match, your referee, Mike Houck, at 198 pounds out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota. Mike is the 3-time defending national Greco-Roman champion, also the #1 contender in his weight class for the 1984 United States Greco-Roman Olympic team. And seated at ringside to add his expertise commentary along with Rod Trongard, Dan Chandler, a member of the United States Olympic Greco-Roman team in 1976 and in 1980. And at 180 pounds, Dan Chandler is the 12-time defending national Greco-Roman champion. Down to Rod and Dan Chandler. Mike, you start them off. Gentlemen, good luck.
Thank you very much, Ken Resnick, and we are going to turn it over to Dan Chandler, and also one who certainly knows all the ins and outs of wrestling at each and every level, the British heavyweight champion, the British Empire heavyweight champion, Billy Robinson. So, Billy and Dan...
So beautiful suplex, and the man takes the man down. There's no doubt about it. These conditions, probably the greatest conditioning sport there is in the Olympics, and these two men surely prove it. I'll pass it over now. Here, come on.
That's right, Billy. These two wrestlers here are two of our top hopes for medals in the 84 Olympics. Wiseman and Martinez are both two-time national champions, and they're beautiful body lift by Martinez. Right now they're in a standing position. The Olympic matches are a 6-minute match, 2 3-minute periods, all done on the feet, unless if one wrestler gets a takedown, he gets a chance to turn his opponent. Now Martinez will go for a turn. Wiseman's going for escape, and he gets it. If the referee thinks one wrestler is being passive, he'll put him down. If one wrestler's not trying to get a throw or a hold, he will be put in a down position. The other wrestler will attempt to
That was a beautiful cross, Bedick, and there's no doubt about it. The people should realize that this wrestling consists of just from the waist up. You cannot use your legs at all.
Right.
It's very, very difficult. Consequently, the old Vikings used to use it as a power training for the upper body work, and it was adopted by the French, where you get all the names of the throw, salto, suplex, etc.
That's right, Billy. Martinez has a front headlock. Nice throw. Got a front headlock throw. That's usually a 3-point or a 4-point throw, depending on the amplitude.
Points mean a big thing in amateur wrestling, and the takedown is for points. A near fall, a near pin is for points. Obviously, if you pin the man's shoulder to the ground straight away, that 1 second, that's the end of the match.
That's right, Billy. The points are very important. Unlike pro wrestling, where you're just trying to wear your opponent down and going for the fall all the time. A lot of wrestlers have different strategy in amateur wrestling, where they're going for a point or a decision by points.
Yeah, I think we should really thank the people of America. Should thank people like Alan Rice of the University of Minnesota and Wally Johnson and the Hazelwood brothers, who from this area brought Greco-Roman really into a major medal, how can I put it, a chance of gaining medals at the Olympics, because America never had Greco-Roman wrestlers until the last few years, and because of these men, you've probably got the greatest team of all time America's ever had.
That's right. The Minnesota club is the dominant Greco-Roman wrestling club of the United States today, and the club was founded by Al Rice and Vern Gagne. People like Wally Johnson helped the club. We train at the University of Minnesota, and also, Billy, this year the Olympic trials are going to be at the University of Minnesota on June 7th, 8th, and 9th at Williams Arena. And we want all the pro wrestling fans to come out and watch that meet. All the top wrestlers of the United States are going to be there, and the winners from that meet will represent the United States in Los Angeles in August.
Yeah, they should definitely come out, because there's no doubt about it. It's going to be exciting. Oh, look at that.
Nice throw. Nice throw.
They're pummeling for position now, and this is a tremendous amount of power. Plus technique. People don't realize the technique.
Nice arm throw. Nice arm throw. Yeah, Minnesota, our club has many leading contenders for the Olympic teams, besides the 3 men in the ring right now, Martinez, Wiseman, and Hulk. Also, John Hughes at 136 is a leading candidate. Jim Andre at 163, Tom Press at 180. Mike Hulk and Dennis Kozlowski at 220 are all leading candidates for the United States Olympic team. So out of our club, we're hoping for 5 or maybe 6 positions on the Olympic team.
Plus probably that amount of medals, whether they be gold, silver, or bronze. And that will be a first for the United States, and that will be fantastic.
That's right. We're going for the gold. Doesn't look like the Russians are going to be there right now, but the competition is still going to be very stiff. Western European nations are very good in Greco-Roman.
Good block. The body positioning is very important. If you see the legs underneath, they position the legs underneath, but the opponent cannot, like, hook a leg or trap a leg, like in freestyle wrestling, or use the legs at all to kick the legs.
Nice body throw. Nice body throw.
Watch the ropes there.
Another thing that's really going to heighten the United States' chances this year is that Brad Reingens, one of the top pro wrestlers in the AWA, has been signed on by USA Wrestling to be the assistant coach for the United States Olympic team.
And so he should. He is great, and a great professional, and could be a world champion of the future. And
great
possibly
technician.
Would have been a gold medalist in the last games if you'd have been able to go.
That's right. Brad's a great technician. We're really looking forward to him coaching. Another nice arm throw by Martinez. These guys are really wrestling hard. A lot of throws, a lot of activity. This is Greco-Roman wrestling right here.
We have 10 seconds left. 10 seconds remaining in this match.
10 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1, and it is all over.
And one last nice throw by Jim Martinez. That was an excellent demonstration.
Thank you, Dan Chandler. And
Thank you,
thanks
Rob.
to Jim Martinez and Dalen Washman for doing their job in the ring, and the best of luck to all of you here in the Olympics just ahead.
Thank you, Rob.
Fans, you can't help but be impressed not only by the enthusiasm but the determination of those tremendous amateur wrestlers. There's no question, Blackjack Lanza, I'm certain you'll agree, the United States to be well represented in both the freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling at the upcoming Olympic Games.
Well, it's a pleasure to see pure wrestling. Now, these two guys you just saw, these little guys, they've been practicing and working out for 4 straight years. Matter of fact, a lot of them been working out for longer than that. I just want to wish them a very successful trip to the Olympics. I know they'll make it. And also, one of the wrestlers, Gene Kaniski's son, Nick Kaniski, will most likely be a member of the Olympic team, and also good luck to him. But let's get down to really something serious. Now, Mulligan, myself, and Iceman Parsons will be wrestling Harley Race and 2 Freebirds, turkeys from down south, dressed up like peacocks, coming in the ring, stomping, telling what they're going to do to us. Well, I'll tell you something. Parsons has wrestled them before, and we got everything we want to know about the Freebirds, and we don't have to know anything about Harley Race because we know exactly where he's coming from. And when we get in the ring with him, it's not going to be an amateur wrestling match. Rest assured, it's going to be a war. Because Harley Race, since you've taken up with that weasel Heenan, seems to be in your corner, in and out at your beck and call. You've been listening to everything he's been putting in your ear. I don't know exactly about your thinking processes. Put you in the same category as Nick Bockwinkel. But the 6 of us are going to have something to settle right here in St. Louis. And we're going to do a little turkey plucking ourselves from the Freebirds. There's not going to be too much left of when we're through with it.
Well, fans, some very interesting thoughts, some very strong words by the big cowboy out of Laredo, Texas, Blackjack Lanza. Stay with us. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout, tag team action, 2 out of 3 falls. Introducing a team on my left. At 240 pounds, out of Detroit, Michigan, the Black Panther. His partner out of West Memphis, Arkansas, at 247 pounds, he is Bruce Dean. And their opponents, the AWA Tag Team Champions of the world. 75 pounds, representing the Republic of Germany, Clawmaster Baron von Reschke. And his partner at 254 pounds, the wrestler that made Milwaukee famous. He certainly needs no introduction. The one, the only, the Crusher. 2 out of 3 falls. Your referee, Sidebuster, Kenny J. Donnie Rod Trongard.
Hello again, everybody. Rod Trongard at ringside, along with Steve Olszanowski, as you have the Baron and Bruce Dean. With an arm drag takedown by Baron von Reschke, all 275 pounds of him. The Baron and the Crusher, the tag team champions of the world.
Did you see that arm drag takedown there, Rod? I tell you, the Baron, he was watching those amateurs. How about those amateurs? 2 of the top kids in the United States today, and we had them right here on our show.
Jimmy Martinez and Dalen Washman. Elbow smash here by the Black Panther, which the Baron doesn't like at all. goes to the corner, and the Crusher has a greeting for him. And in comes the man who made Milwaukee famous.
How about that Crusher? I tell you, here's a guy, he can still bench press 400 pounds. He can still carry two 18-gallon kegs on his shoulders, and he still likes to go out and mess it up with all these guys. I tell you, the Crusher, I can remember watching the Crusher wrestle a long time ago. He was one of the greats then. He is still one of the greats. He is actually a physical fitness nut. He just has to stay in shape.
A very amazing specimen. The Crusher out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Back in, Bruce Dean.
I tell you, a guy like the Crusher, you won't see too many scientific moves from him. But if they had an Olympic competition for bar broom ballin', he'd win the gold medal every time.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, there's the souffle as Bruce Dean goes up and over.
Crusher got a little excited from watching the amateurs, too.
Yes, indeed. The Baron with the headlock on Bruce Dean. Going back over to the corner now with the Black Panther, and they both go to work on Baron von Raschke.
This is the only kind of strategy that's going to work against these two guys. I tell you, you got to get them in the corner, get the referee's back turns. You got to do the damage behind the referee. They're not going to out-wrestle him.
Bruce Dean eye gouging. Dean now with a tag. Forearm smash by the Black Panther, who pays the price as he took a knee to the midsection from Baron von Raschke.
Looked like Crusher wanted to come in and do some refereeing there, too.
The backbreaker here by the Baron. A smile of satisfaction crosses his face. The knee drop by Baron von Raschke out of the Republic of Germany. And this is the atomic drop. And that rearranges things, Steve-O.
Well, I tell you, you got all the pressure coming down on those discs and the vertebrae, and you try to compress them, and I tell you, you get nerves, muscles caught in between there. It can be very painful. It can almost numb the entire back area.
Chinlock here by Baron von Raschke.
Look out, he's getting too close to the ropes.
Kenny Sidebuster J has the Baron break the hold, and the Baron does.
I tell you, the Baron and the Crusher, they're a hard one to break their rhythm. They really don't have a wrestling rhythm. They just go in, and whatever they can get, they just grab a hold of and wear you down. Look at the good tag team strategy here. Keep your opponent on the other half of the ring. Don't get him on the half of the ring that's closest to his corner. Keep him on the corner closest to you.
The Crusher working on the left knee of Bruce Dean, a 247-pounder from West Memphis, Arkansas. Now a step over toe hold with tremendous pressure on the ankle. A twist here.
Look at how thick the Crusher is. I tell you, the guy's just all muscle.
Dean grabbing a hold of the trunks of the Crusher. Hey!
How's that for quickness? I tell you, the Crush stays in shape. He does a lot of bicycling. He does cross-country skiing in the winter. And, of course, his daily routine in the bar.
The Crusher, and he has Mr. Dean meet the Black Panther just in case they have not done so before. Across the ring goes Dean into the knee of the Baron. The tag team champions working extremely well here together. Tremendous teamwork. Von Raschke with a whip. Ooh, the knee to the midsection.
I tell you what that accomplishes right there is you hit the man in the solar plexus or a little bit lower. You take the wind right out of him. A cradle. Raschke too close to the ropes. The referee's going to make him break the hold, and rightfully so.
The Black Panther comes in and fires a boot at Baron von Raschke, and now Dean going to work with his right hand on the Baron. Forearm smashes. Being warned by referee Kenny J. The Panther checks in and puts a headlock on Baron von Raschke.
If they're going to be successful, I mean, Dean and the Panther, they're going to have to stay on the Baron. Don't give him a chance to catch his breath. But if I know the Baron, you're just making him mad now. Look at that. Behind the referee's back.
Dean.
Don't give him a chance.
Now the Black Panther with a headlock. Baron von Raschke is going to stand for this nonsense only so long. There's just no two ways about that. And this could be the beginning of it right here and now. Look at that back body drop. Baron von Raschke tagging off, and in comes the Crusher. They're also tagged off. Well, if he hadn't, Bruce Dean ushered in a very unceremonial-like way by the Crusher. He has every tactic known to man. That knee was right in the middle of the back of Bruce Dean. Oh, the elbow right to the jaw of Dean.
That was the 50-ton megaton. I think the other one's the 100-ton megaton.
Dean paying the price. Now the Crusher wants the Black Panther in, and in he comes.
What a tune-up for these two right here. I tell you, the key that they have going for them to their success is going to be their unpredictability. You can't write a book on the Crusher and Baron von Raschke. Every situation's different, and they're going to be coming up to the task from any challenges.
They have
two tougher wrestlers
together.
You won't find.
They haven't been together all that long, but they certainly have worked out long and hard, and that shows. And, of course, the fact that they are the tag team champions of the world indicates how well the two have adapted to each other.
This is really turning into a workout for these two guys, too. I tell you, they've been in control 90% of this match.
Von Raschke with the snap mare. Ooh. And then a knee to the middle of the back. That'll rearrange it for you. You heard the Crusher's right hand meet the body of the Black Panther. Hard body slam. The Baron setting up his man. That being the Black Panther. There's the right hand, the Irish whip, and the claw.
The only way the Panther can get out of this is make it to the ropes.
The vice-like grip of Baron von Raschke. And enough, says referee Kenny Sodbuster J. The fall going to the tag team champions, the Crusher and Baron von Raschke. There they are. Still available. Ready to go with the second fall. The Black Panther in with Baron von Raschke. The Black Panther had some words for you, Steve-O, between falls.
Well, the Black Panther, well, first of all, he was complaining to the referee about the use of the fists of the Crusher and the Baron, and then he wanted to challenge some Boy Scouts we've got here, and then he challenged me. I tell you, Rod, I thought he was coming after you next.
I'm glad I have you here at my side. Bruce Dean being worked over by the Baron, who tags off with the Crusher. Crusher wants to make short work out of this second fall. He has some unfinished business that he wants to attend to.
Yeah, he said the ice is melting on the bear.
He's afraid somebody else is going to drink it for him.
Look at that elbow. Right on the chin.
This one may be short-lived indeed. The Crusher rams the head of Bruce Dean into the knee of Baron von Raschke. Oh, my, that back body drop.
He's winding up. In comes the stopper. The relief pitcher is here. The game is over.
The bolo is on its way. Here it is. Oh! The cover by the Crusher, and 1 and 2 and 3, and indeed, fall number 2 is a short fall as Bruce Dean cannot withstand the punishment of Baron von Raschke and the Crusher. The tag team champions of the world take it 2 falls in a row.
As you can see, the high flyers, Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell, have made their way out here. Jim, I know you have already had to undergo surgery. To what extent your injuries?
Well, Ken, as a result of what King Kong Brody did when he jumped up in the air and kneed me in the stomach, I had a small blood clot removed from my groin area. by Dr. Gordon Landsman of the Tyrol Clinic just recently, and it caused me a lot of discomfort and pain, and most of all, it's going to cost me a lot of time off from wrestling. Wrestling is my livelihood, so to anybody out there who knows what it's like to not work, it's going to hurt my income for, the doctor says, from 3 to 4 weeks, maybe more. So there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to rehabilitate myself. I can't do very much right now, but hopefully I'll be able to come back.
And Greg Gagne, I understand the prognosis. You must also now undergo surgery. To what extent?
Well, yes, I do, Ken. This Thursday, Dr. Harvey O'Phelan in Minneapolis will operate on the knee. It looks like he will remove cartilage. I don't know the extent of the injury. I do know that I will be laid up anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks. And as Jim said, you know, this hits the pocketbook, but more than that, it's a vicious attack by a man who caught us completely off guard. The man is big. He's 6'6", 307 pounds. But darn it, we've been around this AWA for 11 years now, and a lot of other people have been run out. A lot of people have tried to put us out. This is a devastating injury. Any athlete out there who has a knee injury knows how hard it is to come back. But I plan on coming back, and Jim plans on coming back. Whether it be 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, or a year, we will be back. And King Kong Brody, we will never forget what you have done to us. And like I said, you're big, 6'6", 307. When a man is in the prone position and doesn't see you coming, it makes you bigger than that. Or when you attack somebody from behind. Someday, some way, down the line, Mr. Brody, you're going to get it. Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi's going to get it, and anybody affiliated with that man.
Well, fans, without question, King Kong Brody certainly delivering a terrible blow, not only to the high flyers, but to their fans as well. But hopefully, they will be back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout, one fall. Introducing first out of Mexico City, Mexico, at 255 pounds, Nacho Barrera. His opponent coming into the ring area. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall. He weighs 307 pounds. Out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, King Kong Brody. And his manager, Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi out of Baghdad.
It's a surprise for the AWA, and it's going to be bloody surprise for the Turkey Town.
Brad Trunga, got you and Steve Olszanowski for all the action.
Marty Miller is the third man in. This one is underway. King Kong Brody and Nacho Barrera. And we all recall not that long ago where King Kong Brody and his manager Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi interfered in a match between Rooster Griffin and Jim Brunzell. And Greg Gagne was seconding Jim Brunzell. Both Brunzell and Gagne went to the hospital afterwards, and now, Steve-O, correct me if I am wrong, they are contemplating arthroscopy surgery on the knee of Greg Gagne.
Yes, I understand they shot the dye into the knee to try to determine where the cartilage has been torn, and it's rumored he may have to have surgery.
Jim Brunzell also paid a tremendous price for that, but not as dear a price as is being paid by Greg Gagne. All because of King Kong, the Bruiser Brody.
I think they call him King Kong because he takes pride in saying he can walk and talk anywhere he wants.
Nacho Barrera is certainly paying the price here.
He almost sounds like a dog the way he's barking. He's carrying on a conversation with somebody.
Right in front of us, he hammers that forearm to the pectoral muscles of Nacho Barrera.
Did you see that look on Al-Kaisi's eyes? He's got that money look in his eyes, like he knows he's got a prize wrestler here. He knows how much money he can negotiate with promoters. Look at the power, 6'7".
307 pounds. He picks up that 255-pound Nacho Barrera like it was nothing at all.
Take a look at this.
The leg drop.
Who's he talking to?
Well, like you said, he's barking like a dog. Maybe he's communicating in his own special way with Adnan Al-Kaisi.
Ooh.
That is a finishing touch that he has applied to opponent after opponent here. Nacho Barrera may be through. He is. The count of 3 as King Kong, the bruiser Brody, makes extremely short work out of Nacho Barrera. And Sheik Adnan El-KC is very, very proud of his man and the job he has done.
Thank you, Brad Tragar, for allowing me to sit in today.
Thank you, Steve Olszewski. As there you see Brody and the man from Baghdad, Iraq, making an exit from the ring.
Fans, that, of course, the very unpredictable King Kong Brody. And I'm sure you fans all know the personality of Mr. Brody. Without question, Sheik Adnan El-KC very much had something to do with that attack on Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell. Now, at this time, I want to bring in 2 gentlemen. Believe me, they have taken the AWA by storm everywhere they've gone. The fabulous ones. Now, Steve and Stan, you're not on the upcoming card in St. Louis, but I understand promoters already hard at work trying to bring you in for the next big card here in town.
Well, thank you, Killer. You know, that makes us sound really important, and hopefully we are to the promoters in this area. You know, you don't just come into the AWA and the NWA unannounced. You don't come in with no background. You don't come in with no credentials. You have to be something special to get in here, and it even takes that much more speciality to stay in the area. Well, I'll tell you this. Right now, we've been rated in the top 10 in the nation for over 1 year. So we've got the credentials. We've got the confidence in our ability to come out here and openly challenge any team in the world, in the nation, or in the United States, wherever it may be, to a contract to sign their name right on the dotted line to face the fabulous ones, whether it be in St. Louis or wherever the promoters would like to promote the area. I will say this. We have the confidence, we have the ability, and we're here. We're here for a purpose, and that's to become the world's heavyweight tag team champions, and that's what we're doing here.
You know, it's just like Steve said, Ken. If you walk in any newsstand, any bookstore in the country right now, pick up a wrestling magazine, any kind of wrestling publication whatsoever, you're going to see our names in there. The last time we were in St. Louis, what a party we had. You know, we almost didn't make it to the ring. There were so many good-looking ladies, so many pretty girls inviting us to go party with them that we almost didn't make it to the ring. But we finally got there, and as usual, we got our hands raised, which is just what we like to do. Because we're on a mission to get those world tag team straps around our waist, and I feel like it's only a matter of time, a short time, Ken. Thank you very much.
Fans, the fabulous ones, that's all the time we've got for this week. We'll see you again next time right here on KDNL. So long, everybody.